G'day guys, welcome to the virtual whiskey show. Firstly, thank you to Dave and the Alchemist crew for inviting us along. And on behalf of myself and Beam Suntory, who I'm representing, thank you so much for participating. My name's Cameron, I'm the State Spirits Ambassador here in New South Wales. And we're going to discuss one of my favourite whiskies at the moment, which is the Maker's Mark 46. So Maker's Mark, absolutely beautiful distillery. If you're in Kentucky, you must check it out. It's actually the first heritage listed distillery in the United States of America. Still has an old school feel of wooden and metal wash vats as well. So started in 1954 by Bill Samuels Sr. at the Star Hill Farm, and he was the fourth of the Samuels generation to be distilling in Kentucky. You'll notice Maker's Mark spelt without the E on the whiskey because he's from Scottish descent. All that's kind of encapsulated in that wax seal you see here with the SIV star. So Star Hill Farm and the fourth generation of Samuels. Now where Maker's Mark really sort of differentiates itself from other classic Kentucky straight bourbons is the fact that it's gone to a wheated style. So as we've talked about a few other whiskies, and I'm sure other people have, obviously predominantly corn. The second grain then is generally rye and a little bit of barley. This is different. We've got some wheat in there as our second grain. So what we're looking at here is 16% wheat, 14% malted barley, love that extra hit of malted barley, and then 70% corn as well. Now the way he came up with this recipe, very famously apparently Bill Samuels decided to re-innovate and burnt down the family rye-based recipe, apparently burnt down half his lounge room as well. I'm sure he had been a few whiskeys deep when he reached this arrangement to make wheated whiskey as it was. But so decided instead of like fermenting and distilling and wasting this alcohol, what he would do was bake loaves of bread to decide his favorite combination of those grains. And that's what he did, and this is the combination we've landed at now. That is our classic juice that goes into Maker's Mark. The classic you guys might be familiar with, the Maker's Mark, is 6 years old. Absolutely beautiful whiskey. What we're looking at here is the Maker's 46. So basically, Bill Samuels Sr. said Maker's Mark is perfection, and you don't mess around with perfection. But that was Bill Samuels Sr. His son Bill Samuels Jr. said, well, to hell with you, old man, I want my own legacy. So he went along and decided to try as many different grain and wood expressions as he could, and they saddled that expression number 46 as their favorite. Don't be misled, it is 47% ABV, nothing to do with the name, it's actually 46 was the number of the experiment they decided they liked the best. So what we do is we take the Maker's Mark at 6 years old, we open that barrel, and we put in 10 small pieces of lightly toasted French oak. Not staves, just little pieces. We spread them around and put them back in the barrel, and we age it for one Kentucky winter. Kentucky winter is very cold, so the aging that happens is very soft and very gentle. Remember guys, this is like Maker's on steroids. We're trying to like kick it up a gear. We're not trying to take away from the feel and vibe of exactly what Maker's is. It's such a synonymous whiskey in America and across the world that we could never mess with it too much without being in trouble. So the beautiful 46. Every bottle today is still hand dipped. And every bottle design and label design is still very famously attributed to Margie Samuels, Bill's wife, who was a big influence in the creation of this whiskey. In fact, the reason it's called Maker's Mark is she used to collect pewter. And Bill had no idea what to call his whiskey, and one night he said, what's all the signatures on all your pewter and stuff? And she's like, that's the Maker's Mark. It shows perfection and quality. He's like, that's what I'm going to call my whiskey. So wouldn't be here without both Bill and Margie, but Bill Samuels Jr. is the reason we have this beautiful number here, the 46. So guys, what we're going to find is that French oak is going to give us more of that sort of creme brulee creaminess, that extra ABV, more of that chew, and definitely some more of that sort of spice that you find from a little bit of French oak, coming more into sort of like cinnamons, nutmegs and cloves and stuff like that, but that extra sweetness and smoke as well. So right in the nose, guys, I get that creaminess, I get that creme brulee, I can almost taste a little bit of that cardamom and cinnamon coming through. But I haven't lost any of that sort of fruitiness that I expect from Maker's. Like, yeah, there's that tropical fruit there, but really that stone fruit, that peach, little slight warming ginger there as well. Guys, are beautiful. You get that lovely, just sort of straight up sweetness, that drip around the palate, vanilla, find a little bit of ginger there, very much caramel running through, and then it stops and attenuates nice and softly, and then you get that beautiful sort of like Kentucky burn from that cleanness as well. Like, it's absolutely delicious whiskey. As with most whiskeys, like, I only add more whiskey to my whiskey, but this one really, like, if you want to go for old fashions, for cocktails on ice, like, beautiful whiskey, and for the price, guys, I mean, you can't drink any better bang for buck. So I hope you've enjoyed your show, and cheers. Thank you.